guys, it's Kate here for another video, and I've been thinking lately about variety and reading. And as a avid watcher of BookTube, and now as someone who makes my own BookTube videos, I just think it's really cool to see all of the variety of reading that people do on BookTube. And sometimes I hear about books that I wouldn't have otherwise heard about. And so I found now that from watching BookTube, I read with more of a variety than I ever have before. Before I mainly kind of stick to classics, and now I read a lot more other things other than classics, which I think is a good thing. I think this variety of reading thing is good. So I typically, like I said, I like classics. I usually like to have one classic on the go. So I will be finishing up the Pickwick Papers very soon, very shortly, and I've been reading that since last June, and I'm okay with that. Because I think sometimes as BookTube people, we have this mentality that like you have to charge through these books. You need to get your reading challenge done for Goodreads. But I'm okay with that when I read a big chunky classic like a Charles Dickens, because I really want to savor it and enjoy it. And so more on that to come. I'll be doing a video on that soon. I know I talk about classics a lot, but just in addition to them being edifying to me and having lots of words I wouldn't know, and just I think being good exercise for my mind, they are also referenced very commonly in popular culture. I didn't realize until I read the Pickwick Papers that it was referenced in Little Women, and I didn't realize until I read The Vicar of Wakefield at the same time as Middlemarch, I wouldn't have known about a certain reference that was in there, and also just things in conversation with people, maybe they'll be referenced, but also in TV shows like the Gilmore Girls, classics are referenced quite a lot. So I also do like to read children's literature. That's another genre that I like, and I've been reading Matilda this month and really enjoying it. Miss Trunchbull is just making me laugh out loud with how ridiculous she is, and so really enjoying that. And then also, oh my goodness guys, I read Cinder. And I know it doesn't sound typical of me, like I just have not had much success with YA, but I think the problem was I tried more like YA romance, but I think YA fantasy is like the thing for me. I read it in 2 days, and I'm just so excited about this series. Like, I'm already worried about what I'll read after I'm done with this series. But I think I really do want to invest more time in reading YA fantasy, simply because adult fantasy is great and I enjoy that, but this is something that I can just gobble up. It's like a cotton candy read. And so I read Cinder in 2 days, and this was in addition to all of the other books that I was reading, and I love it so much. It's the most I've enjoyed a book all year. And I can't believe I'm saying that, just because sometimes I'm really skeptical about YA, but I'm just really excited to come to this realization that I think YA fantasy is a genre that I will actually really enjoy. And so loving that. And then I also, so fantasy is actually a newer genre for my life. Aside from Harry Potter, I actually had not read fantasy before in my life until last year when I started the Wheel of Time series. And I love the Wheel of Time series. I like knowing that I can read YA fantasy, because typically the shortest amount of time I would want to read a Wheel of Time book without burning out is a month. And so it's nice just to have kind of this littler, easier to process read on the side, because I enjoy fantasy, but towards the maybe last 200 or 100 pages of a Wheel of Time book, I kind of want some chill out time from fantasy. So I'm glad to kind of realize these things about myself and to really even furthermore enhance my reading. So I'm talking about all of this, telling you how I like classics and children's literature and mysteries. And I've read 3 more mysteries this month, or I will by the end of the month, and then fantasy, telling you about that. I'm telling you all about that because I think that in order to keep myself out of reading slumps, I need to have some variety in what I read. I think that if I read too much of one genre, like I've read 3 mysteries this month, but I'm like, okay, I want some kind of downtime for mysteries because I've read a fair amount in that, I just start to get tired of them. And I think that's how people get in reading slumps. And I think we as people aren't necessarily supposed to just read one genre at a time. I think really to keep reading fresh and new feeling and like have that zest for reading, we need some variety in what we read. Like, I wouldn't want to eat the same thing for every meal, so I don't want to read read the same type of genre all the time that I'm reading. And so please let me know what you think about this, just some food for thought. I think variety in reading is what really makes me enthusiastic and excited about reading. And I think I have been a fair amount, but I'll just continue to be very intentional about in my TBRs having some variety there so I don't get kind of bogged down. So at the end of the month, I will also have read 4 modern classics, and I'm feeling like I've read plenty of those. Just kind of want to take a chill time from that also. And another thing that I think is if you have that variety, then when you go back to a genre that you've taken a break from, it just seems all the more wondrous. After I haven't read a mystery for maybe 2 months, then I go back and I think about how amazing mysteries are. And also after I take kind of a month off from reading fantasy and then I go back to it, I think, oh my goodness, this is just miraculous. And so I think it kind of keeps some of the wonder there. And this might just be me, so I am interested, hopefully, to see in the comments below discussion on that. Do you need the variety like I do, or are you okay kind of in your like one genre? You are happy there. So I hope that you guys are having a great day, and will feel free to comment down below, and just love getting comments from you guys. And so I will see you for another video soon. Bye bye.